going, everybody? Happy weekend. We're so glad to have you here at the Mallet live stream on Monday. As always, it is Engineering Monday. Mr. Darrell is here to go in depth. Today, we are revisiting the permitting in Baton Rouge. He said he enjoyed a little bit of that and wanted to dive deeper into it from an engineer's perspective. So we're going to get to that here shortly. As always, again, Mr. Tim, happy Monday. Thank you for tuning in. We love having you. But we're going to dive into this as we do. Where's Mallet this week? We completed a lot of jobs last week. We had just over 115 going on last week. This week we're in 80 jobs. So that's over 30 jobs that have been completed just last week. So that's the pace we're moving at right now at Mallet. Things are in full swing here, you guys. But from Texas to Mississippi, we have 80 different jobs going on. In Louisiana, it is 57 jobs. We have buildings in construction, materials on the ground waiting to be built, forms going down, finishers, which is doors, windows, things like that, plumbing, and a bunch of concrete happening this week, you guys. The concrete crews are going to be quite busy, but this concrete means the building is reaching its end point of construction, that the building is most likely finished at this point, barring anything that have to go back and touch up, if that is the case. But concrete means the building is usually on its final stage. So that's exciting to see. That means that a lot of jobs are going to be done this week as well in Louisiana. Now, going to Texas, we have 20 jobs. Also in construction on the ground, which means we're about to get started on the build. Forms are happening for the concrete, and then we have, again, a bunch of concrete happening in Texas. Love seeing that. That means buildings are coming to completion. And then we had 3 in Mississippi. Thank you all so much. If you are watching and you are one of those builds happening, we appreciate your business. Now, you've learned where's Mallet. Let's talk about why Mallet. So, as you'll see the Rival Series here, you may notice some specs are different between the Mallet Classic and the Rival Series. Let me tell you why. The Rival Series is based on what we call industry standard, what most other people are building with. That is what follows. 29 gauge metal, a 4-on-12 roof pitch, 2x6 trusses, oftentimes it'll be common flat trusses, and they're usually not inspected by a third-party company. You have 130 to 135 mile an hour wind rated building, which is very comparable to a Mallet Classic as far as wind rating goes. You're not going to get the uplift control, so no cable lock system. You're also going to have 2x12 headers and 3,000 psi, or 2x8 headers. We're 2x12. The Rival's going to have 2x8 with 3,000 psi concrete, no ground protection, a limited warranty, and it's usually going to use number 2 untreated lumber. This is what the industry standard has typically been for post-frame construction, hence the Rival Series. You guys, we wanted to give a budget-friendly option, so we went ahead and downgraded our usual materials. Now, downgrade does not mean this is not a good building. The Rival Series is a good building, but if you want a great building, let me talk about the Mallet Classic. This is our introductory building, our entry-level building, but let me tell you why our entry level is far and above even the industry standard. We're going to have 26 gauge metal standard across all buildings. 26 gauge is thicker and more durable than 29 gauge metal. We're going to have a 5-on-12 roof pitch on every building unless you ask otherwise. 5-on-12 is going to be more clearance than the 4x12. You're going to have more of a pitch there, which means a better shutoff of debris and water, preventing issues with your roof down the line. We're going to have 2x8 scissor trusses, and that's going to be 2x8s all the way through. No 2x4, 2x6 inner webbing. True 2x8 scissor. A lot of people call them cathedral trusses. You're going to get a lot more headroom there. You're also going to have third-party inspections performed on our trusses, you guys. We've talked time and time again about this. We have a third-party inspector that comes in from out of state, and he is making sure everything is compliant with what we're saying it's going to be, as well as the standards of what needs to be checked. So we appreciate that trust there. Now, we're going to have a 170 mile an hour wind rating on the roof load system of our buildings. That is not to be confused with the wind load rating of the building, which with the Classic is 135 miles an hour. But we're going to have a 170 mile an hour wind rating on the roof load system. That's combining the scissor trusses, the 2x12 headers, and a slew of other things that is engineer talk to me. But that's going to create a 170 mile an hour wind rating on the roof system itself. Now, we're also going to have 4,000 psi concrete towards the ground. We're going to have skirt board guards for ground protection. We start with a 4-year workmanship warranty, and every piece of wood we use is going to be #1 MCA ground treated kiln dried lumber, so the best of the best treated, dried, and ready to be a long-lasting structure in your building. Now, we're going to have our in-house engineer, which is Mr. Darrell and his team, who you're going to meet here soon. They're going to be double-checking everything that happens from start to finish to be sure the building is to code and to the mallet standard. So, again, where is mallet? This is why mallet. Our rival series specs, industry standard building, a good building, compared to the mallet classic building, which is, in my opinion, a great building, and that's just our entry level. Now, if you're considering a mallet building and you are a healthcare worker, first responder, military personnel, or teacher and or educator, first and foremost, we thank you for everything you do. We consider it a service to our community, and we want to say we appreciate you by offering you $500 off your next building. Now, if you're watching and want to comment cash, you can get $1,000 off your elite or signature building. This does not apply to specials or promotions, but you can get you $1,000 off your elite or signature building just by commenting 4 letters, C-A-S-H, cash, and that'll get you $1,000 off your next mallet building. Now, if you are in one of our special service categories, you also can bundle that with the Tiger Cash and get $1,500 off your regular priced mallet building. How cool is that? So be sure to check that out. If you're in the process of looking for a building, be sure to give us a call at 337-214-0428 and we'll be happy to help you. Moving right along, January specials and promotions. This is what a lot of y'all are here for because we have some awesome deals. Now, a 30 by 50 by 12 or a 40 by 50 by 14 or a 40 by 60 by 16. You could also do 40 by 60 by 12, 30 by 50 by 16 because for these wonderfully low prices here, you get to pick your eave height. Limited special for January, you get to pick the eave height of the building. Plus, you get a 10-foot gable extension for free. That's all thrown in there on the price, you guys. No extra charge for that. You can get an eave height of your choice between 12 and 16 feet and a 10-foot gable extension included for free, all from $43,998 to $62,598. And in this, you can get all the way from a 30 by 50 to a 40 by 60. Massive buildings, you guys. You're also going to get all the premium features that come with the Elite, and let me tell you a few of those. Of course, as always, we have #1 grade lumber, and you're going to have a 6-inch 4,000 PSI microfiber reinforced concrete slab on this one instead of a 4,000 PSI 4-inch slab. On the Classic, as every mallet building, you're going to have the mallet cable lock system. This is our uplift control. It's that 1/8 aircraft cable that goes around the entirety of the base of the building, post to post, keeping that building secured. You're also going to have a 150 mile an hour wind rated building. So if the wind rating is something of concern for you, this may be the building to look at with 150 mile an hour on the building and 170 on the roof load. That's hard to beat. You're also going to have that 4,000 PSI concrete under every 6x6 post as a post pad. This is going to prevent unwanted settling and sinking of the post. You're also going to get post protectors free of charge. These are going to be shells that go over the post, prolonging the life of them almost indefinitely because they say it's almost a 500-year lifespan that it adds to the post just for keeping them covered. And that is something worth looking at. Those come free of charge. Again, we have the 5-on-12 pitch cathedral trusses. Every building is engineered to standard, and we're going to have 2 3x5 windows included, as well as gutters are included all the way around, and a 10-year workmanship warranty. Guys, where else are you going to find that? So be sure to check that out. Again, you get 30 by 50 by 12, or by 14, or by 16, all the way up to a 40 by 60, guys. Pick your eave height, and we're going to throw in a 10-foot gable extension. You can't beat that. So check it out, you guys. Now, the Cajun Oasis. If you need something that's all in one, Tyler, that last special sounded amazing. There's no way you can beat that, but I want something that's all in one. I need electricity. I need it to be heated, cooled. I need it to be ready to use as soon as you guys leave. We have the answer for that as well in the form of the Cajun Oasis. Now, this is the Cajun Oasis Classic. It is a 30 by 50 by 12 for $49,999. And as I mentioned, this price includes insulation, electrical package, climate control powered by a 5-ton wall-mounted unit. You can see it here. Now, you can also see here that those packages are a $16,000 value for free. That is all for $49,999. You get a 30 by 50 by 12 plus the $16,000 of value for free. You can also ask about spray foam. If that's something that you're interested in, we have that availability here at Mallet as well. Be sure to check in and ask your building specialist if spray foam is right for you. But the Cajun Oasis Classic, you guys, this is a Mallet Classic building that is ready when we leave. There is power and heating or cool. If you're in Louisiana, it's probably all in the same day within the first hour you're awake. But that is the Cajun Oasis Classic. Now, if you want just a little bit more, you know, I like the 150-mile-an-hour wind rating. I like the benefits of the Elite. I like the extra stuff that comes with it. We have something for you too. The Cajun Oasis Elite. Everything that comes with the Classic, you're gonna get the electrical package, the 5-ton unit part of the climate control package, the insulation throughout. You can still ask for spray foam, but that's not it. You also get the $16,000 value and all the perks of the Elite building. You also get the option for wainscoting right here. And there's your 2 windows, a roll-up door, a walk-through door, your unit. That beautiful building right here, you guys. 30 by 50 by 12, all for $59,999. Where else can you find a bundle of the Elite features for $10,000 more between 2 packages? Both wonderful packages. This bad boy is going to be a 150-mile-an-hour wind-rated building, 170 on the roof system, and post protectors, gutters, all the way around. The Elite comes with gutter brush guards as well. Building is amazing, you guys. Comes with everything you could ever need. Now, moving right along, the 5 red flags. When you're looking for who is going to be building your next building, we want you to consider a few things and use this against us as well, because we want to stand the test as well. Now, 5 red flags, years in business. You can check this at the Secretary of State website. Why is this important? Well, first off, if you don't find them on there, it means they're not a licensed business and they can't legally do work that they're promising to do on your property. And plain and simple, you don't want to be involved in that. So check how long they've been around on the Secretary of State website and check if they are even a licensed business, because that could be a red flag. Now, while you're checking licenses, be sure to check out the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors, or the LSLBC, and you can check and see if they have the proper licenses to do the work that they're talking about. So they don't just need to be a business, they need to be a licensed contractor, whether it be residential, commercial, industrial, wherever the field may be. They need to have the proper licensing body behind them to operate and do these construction jobs. Make sure that you check that on the LSLBC. And while you're there, check for contractor violations. If they do have these licenses, make sure they haven't violated the law in any sort of way, because we like to say if they're going to do it once, they're probably going to do it again. And if they're hiding it from you, well, that could be a red flag in itself, but that's for you to decide. Now, reviews on the BBB and Google, we are very happy to say on the Better Business Bureau, we have an A+ rating, and between the BBB and Google, we have over 685 reviews with a 4.9 average rating across the board. Guys, we are incredibly proud about that, because we can stand up here all day long and talk about what we offer, but nothing says they did a good job like the customer saying they did a good job. And we'd love to earn your business and earn a review of yours as well. So please check out the reviews. A lot of people don't have any, and if they do have some, they're usually not that good. That's not talking trash, that's just stating things that we've seen in person. But check that out. BBB and Google, it's a great place to see experiences, good and bad, and use those in making your decision. Finally, visit the contractor's facility. A lot of people, you guys, and this is no shade, they're doing business out their vehicle. Yeah, I understand, everyone has to have a place to do work, but if they don't have a facility, then maybe they're just a middleman and not really a contractor or what they're saying they are. These are things to consider, things that we've seen. Here at Mallet, we have a beautiful facility, and for 27 years we have been in business making the best buildings in the country. But that all happens here on site, because we have a truss plant, we have the roll form plant trucking away, we have the gutter operation, we have the loading bay, we have the packing plant, so much more. But most importantly, we have each and every person involved in the process of your building, from the sales team to the designers, to the engineers, to the scheduling department, to the people laying your concrete. We have everyone, and they're usually here. They're here every day, but the crews are out and about. You know what I'm saying. But you can meet everyone involved in your process, and that's something super special, because you can shake some hands and put some names to faces, and it's just a beautiful time. Everyone is so happy to meet each and every customer who walks in, and we can't wait to meet you. So come on down, check us out in Iowa, Louisiana, right off the I-10 interstate. Can't wait to see you. That is all for me, though. We're going to hand it over to Mr. Darrell for his revisit on permitting in Baton Rouge, an engineer's perspective. Check it out, you guys.
Hey, I'm Darrell, the engineer here at Mallet. And, well, first of all, I have to tell a really corny joke. It's really bad. You have to listen or you miss it. So, a rope slithered into the room. And one guy looks at another guy and says, "Is that a rope?" The other guy says, "Afraid not." So permitting is, getting your permit takes some knowledge, but it also takes an attitude. And I wanted to read this little story. You may have heard this. I came across this sometime last year. The story's titled, "Whose Job Is It Anyway?" And it says, this is the story about 4 people named everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody. There was an important job to be done, and everybody was sure that somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could do it, and nobody realized that everybody wouldn't do it. It ended up that everybody blamed somebody when nobody did what anybody could have done. And if you want me to read that again, you'll have to tell me, and I'll do that. But the point is, when you submit your plans to the municipality, they're going to come up with a list of little things that have to be done to make them happy. And I've been involved in construction and permitting for 40 years. And you really never know exactly what they're going to come up with. And it's always things that are legitimate, and sometimes it's things that are necessary that need to be clarified. But no matter what it is, somebody's got to do it, or you won't get your permit. And so the great thing about the team that we have here at Mallet is that we have a get it done kind of an attitude. Mr. Lee Mallet will get on us and chastise us for not taking a proactive response to permit issues, because he wants to see the customer happy. He wants to see everything moving along. He wants to see permits granted so that the construction can move on as it needs to. So we're involved in that process. But as I tell you almost every week, you have a responsibility in that process also. In fact, you have a big responsibility, because you are the one that begins the process. And you're the one that files the permit application. And so I wanted to go over, I know Tyler talked about it last week, and I just wanted to go over a little bit because I have a little bit of experience with dealing with Baton Rouge, East Baton Rouge Parish, and the city of Baton Rouge, which is the same thing. And in those cases, on a couple of occasions, I've been the one to pull the permit, which I normally don't do. I normally just help the contractor do that, but sometimes I do it. So anyway, just wanted to go over a little bit of that. So if you're the person pulling the permit, and in Baton Rouge, see, it says the city of Baton Rouge and the parish of East Baton Rouge. So it's under the same government operates in the parish and the city. And actually, Lafayette is the same way. It's the city of Lafayette and Lafayette Parish. But you'll go there, you'll go to this website, go to the Baton Rouge website, and then you'll click on right here, MGO, My Government Online. So you click that, and then you'll click this, that'll bring you here. To apply for a permit, visit that. So you'll go there, and you won't log in, but you'll say new account, and you'll set your email address, password, and you'll continue on till you, and then the things that you'll have to be filling out, most of them are really apparent. The applicant's contact information, the owner's contact information, which is the same, the contractor's information, and then it'll say the required thing. You know, it's a residential permit, a project description, and it'd be accessory structure. Then the lot or tract number, the subdivision name, and the project cost. And the square footage of the project. You fill out all that. And then it'll go on. It asks you about, is roofing for this project being done by a subcontractor? Yes or no? And in our case, it would be no, because you're going to, the contract, well, I guess we need to clarify that. And I'll have to talk to the guys, because actually the homeowner is a contractor and we're a subcontractor to the homeowner. But then it'll say water meter, which you won't have to worry about that because it's an accessory structure. Sewer type, same thing. Sewer impact fees, shouldn't have any of that. I like this one. Expedited residential plan review service. And you can pay $60 plus 10 cents per square foot to get moved up in the list, which really that's not too necessary. Is an electrical permit needed, or mechanical permit needed, a plumbing permit needed? You have to answer those questions. And then you have to turn in a copy of the residential plans, and a plot plan, and an elevation certificate. So all these things are items that are there listed in that. So now I turned in a project for East Baton Rouge Parish, and well, it was actually in Zachary, which is a small town north of Baton Rouge, and South Central Planning did the review. And then I'm familiar with South Central Planning because several of our mallet projects have been reviewed by South Central Planning and Development Commission out of Houma. And they send you these letters. Here's a copy of a letter that we did for Mr. Boudreaux in Shriver, Louisiana. And so we had to address some issues. And like in this case, some of the things that we had to fix, the design wind load for Shriver, however you want to say it, was 140, and we put the wrong truss drawing in the plans, 130 mile an hour truss, so we had to change that. And so then it says that the plans didn't include a restroom. This was a commercial job, and we needed some clarification on that. Garage door headers, they wanted some clarification on that. Floor drains, something that they always require in commercial jobs. And then this was the same kind of letter that we got for the job in Zachary. So these kind of letters we get all the time. And we were involved in a project, still involved in the project. In fact, a job over in Houston. The city of Houston is a huge footprint, and we're doing a job for a gentleman over there, and it's under the jurisdiction of the city of Houston. So we got this 9-page letter of after the plans were submitted. Now, some of the things that had to be addressed were civil site concerns, and we're not doing that here. were concerned with the building. So this individual had another engineer involved that was doing that, a local engineer that was doing the civil site stuff. But we had several items that were involved that we had to comply with in order to gain the permit for that job in the city of Houston. And one of the things that it said was, let me find it, all these pages. It said that the plans propose the use of floor trusses or roof trusses, provide the engineered layout and cut sheets for the trusses. And then it says, truss fabricators must be approved by the city of Houston. For a list of approved fabricators, go to the following link and review the document. So, we build our own trusses here and been building them a long time. But we had never gone through the process to become an approved vendor for the city of Houston. But we went through that process. And so here, if you go on the City of Houston website, you see the registered fabricators, and on page 5, you see Best Buy Industries, LLC, doing business as Mallet Buildings in Iowa, Louisiana. We are certified and on the approved vendors list for wood roof trusses. And so, that goes to the get it done attitude of Mr. Lee Mallet, because he said, we'll do what we have to do to get approved on that list. And so that's where the third-party inspectors began to come to our plant and do the certification and checking up on our construction, which, if you've ever seen one of our trusses, it's a stout, well-built truss. So, I was telling Mr. Ferguson, who's been working here over 20 years and been involved in construction all his life, you get one of these 9-page letters, or you get those 3-page letters that I showed you previously, and it's almost like it's kind of like the feeling like getting a bad letter from the IRS. Have you ever gotten one of those letters? I made a mistake one time, and I got a letter from the IRS that said that I owed them thousands of dollars that I didn't have at the moment. And anyway, I will always remember that terrible feeling that you have when you get a letter like that. Well, you get these permit letters, and your first thought, if you're not familiar with the process, is, I will never get my permit. How am I ever going to accomplish this? Well, that's why it's really good to have a team like the team we have at Mallet, because we don't feel that way when we get these letters. I mean, we say some unsavory things when we get these letters, but we also say, well, we're just gonna get it accomplished. We're gonna fight through this. In the case of Mr. Lee, in the case of Trent and Mr. Ferguson and myself, we've been doing this for years and years. We've gotten these letters for years and years, and we're used to dealing with them. And so we just take the bull by the horns and start pecking away at it and get it done. So right now, like today, I went over a list of projects. We build hundreds of buildings every year. And so we had permit issues that we were dealing with on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different jobs. Things that we had to address as a team. And so we have addressed 5 of them. And so 3 of them still have things that we're working on. But this is a continuous process here at Mallet. And it's that can-do attitude that gets it done. And so that's a little bit more to tag on to Tyler's permit issues in the city of Baton Rouge. And so if that's where you're dealing with, if you're dealing with an area like that or an area similar to that, well, you start the process by filling out that permit application and then submitting our plans that we've given you, and then we'll help you in that process after that point. So next week we'll probably get back on some structures and some things, and but y'all have a good week, and watch for those frayed knots. Also watch for anybody, everybody, somebody, and nobody. See you later.